Ahoy ahoy crew, let's build Reverberation Minstrel. To begin, we shall cover the skills information. Reverberation does magical damage. At max level, it deals 2200% magic attack, and the damage scales with your base level. The property of the damage dealt depends on the arrow you have equipped. So a fire arrow would give you fire property damage. At max level, Reverberation costs 84 SP, has 1.5 seconds of variable cast time, 0.5 seconds of fixed cast time, 1 second of cast delay, deals damage in a 5x5 area of effect, and consumes 10 arrows with each cast. This guide can be used for both Minstrel and Wanderers, but there is a few differences between them. Minstrel gives you minus 30% after cast delay with Poem of Bragi, which is super useful as a new player since ACD gears tend to be a little expensive. I recommend choosing Minstrel if you are new for this reason. Wanderer, on the other hand, gives you reduced SP consumption, increased max SP, and a little bit of magic attack. These can be helpful when spamming for a long time. I believe it's better to use Wanderer only once you get endgame gears for the Reverberation build. Now, let's get into the early game gears. I would like to add a disclaimer. These being early game gears does not mean that it's the first gear you get. Start out on the Eden equipments and obtain these gears when you get the chance to buy or farm them yourself. For the armor slot, we will use Illusion Armor B, since at +4 it gives us 120 magic attack. Note, you must be level 130 to equip this item. In the weapon slot, we will use a Thanatos Violin. This is the best instrument for magic attack in the early game. If you are a Wanderer, use a Thanatos Whip instead. But keep in mind that the leech effect on the Thanatos weapons only works with physical damage, so Reverberation will not recover HP or SP for you, though you can use Severe Rainstorm to deal physical damage and leech some HP and SP from that. Thanatos weapons can be farmed from the Ghost Palace instance and require level 120 to equip. For a shield, we will use a Cursed Knight's Shield, as it's the most effective shield for its cost and any class can wear it. This costs 2 Endeavor tokens and comes from the Master of Coin on the second floor of the main office at Go 50. You can get Endeavor tokens from daily and weekly quests. In the garment slot, use a giant snake skin. This is a budget garment. We just want it for the stats it gives until we can get something better. Look for Dex or Int stats since we want them for reducing our cast time when we upgrade our gear in the future. For the Footgear, we will wear Temporal Boots of Dexterity. We need these to get the minus 0.5 seconds of fixed cast time. This is the first step in achieving instant cast on Reverberation. For the enchantments, try to get Spell. The second enchantment doesn't matter too much right now, any enchant will do. We will work on getting Runaway Magic in the future. In the right accessory, we will use a Sound Amplifier. This reduces our variable cast time by 50%, which is the next part of achieving instant cast. We will put a Playing Fairy in the Sound Amplifier. This increases our physical damage against neutral property enemies by 20%. We only wear this card for the combo it gives in the other accessories slot. On the left accessories slot, we will use a second Sound Amplifier. Using 2 of these lets us get rid of our variable cast time completely and achieve instant cast. In this amplifier, we will put a Dancing Fairy card. This increases our magical damage against neutral property enemies by 20%. The combo of this card, when worn with a Playing Fairy card in the other accessory, will give us plus 50% reverberation damage, which is a huge bonus. This is the full set for the early game gears that you should get after Eden equipments. You will be able to fully spam Reverberation. From here, you'll want to work on getting more damage and find your way to getting instant cast through stats instead of the accessories. Now we can go over equips that you can work towards the mid-game gears. The minimum level requirement for a few of these gears is level 170. Keep that in mind when progressing gears. At this point, I still recommend sticking on Minstrel for newer players to get the aftercast delay bonus. We'll start with the headgear first. In this slot, we will use a +7 wing headphone. You can get wing headphones from the Master of Coin in the main office for 3 Endeavor tokens. These give a nice magic attack percent boost for every refine. At +7, it reduces the cost of reverberation by 18 SP and increases reverberation damage by 30%. For a general use card, use Weakened Fenrir card. This gives a flat +25 magic attack. There is also a cycle of headgear cards that gives +10 magic attack and increase a specific property of magic damage by up to 10%. An example of this would be Red Lictorn card. In the armor slot, we will move on to a +9 Int Sutan. This is an important gear to get before you swap accessories for instant cast, as it adds a lot of stats. For the enchantments on it, we want to get Int Blessing and 2 Dex +8 enchants to help cast times. For the card, we can use an Agav card. In the weapon slot, we will use a black circle. To start out, anything from +4 to +7 is fine. The main reason we upgrade to this is the base magic attack and the neutral magic damage bonus. We will slot this with 2 Alpakio Basil cards to increase our reverberation damage. This is the placeholder until you can afford a strong endgame weapon like Illusion Electric Eel or Illusion Electric Guitar, depending on your class. In the shield slot, stick with the Cursed Knight Shield for now. Next up is the garment slot. For this, we will upgrade our giant snakeskin into a Clergy's Mantle with Int and Dex enchants on it. Do not worry about getting perfect or super good enchants. The purpose of this upgrade is just to get more stats than an okay giant snakeskin would give you. So each enchant can be whatever number between 6 and 8. Just get a mix of Dex or Int in all 3 slots and you are good to go. For a general use card, we can use Marsh a Klaus card. The Footgear will still be temporal boots of dexterity, but now we want to try and get a runaway magic enchant. So you can stick on your old boots until you can afford the better enchant. For the Footgear card, we can use Nightmare Verit card. In the left accessory, use the King Schmidt's Divine Insignia. This is a very strong accessory that we can only have one of, but it combos with the Runaway Magic enchant on the temporal boots. For the enchantments on the insignia, aim for Divine Power, Spell, and Int or Dex. Divine Power adds 15% to all properties of magic damage if you have the Runaway Magic enchant equipped. Otherwise, it does nothing. For the card, continue using the Dancing Fairy card for the combo to get plus 50% reverberation damage. On the right accessory, swap to a Magic Intensifier ring. This will give us more magic attack percent to increase our damage. For the enchantments, also aim for magic attack percent. The card will stay the same as before, playing Fairy card, as we need it for the combo. Let's quickly go over stats. We want 120 Int and 120 Dex. The rest of the points can be split among Strength, Agi, and Vit. Luck is not needed. Strength helps our weight limit. Agi gives us flee and attack speed for spamming. And Vit gives us HP to be a bit more tanky. That's all I've got for the early to mid-game reverberation build. If you have further questions, I would recommend asking inside the Archer class channel on the NovaRO Discord server. And if this video helped you, subscribe to the channel, share this video with friends, and I'll see you in the next video.